Hey, good morning. It's a fact. If you have a tool and cutter grinder, you don't have to have drawers and drawers full of end mills and cutting tools. Now, I was talking to a guy the other day, and he pointed that out, and I realized it that if you do have a cutter grinder, you don't have to have just like tons of stuff in drawers. And people that have cutter grinders generally don't have tons and tons of cutters. Yeah, you got your new cutter sitting there in the tubes and stuff like that. And by the way, a fellow sent me a new cutter here, and it's an odd size, and I happen to have a collet for it. It's a 13/16, a really nice end mill, and that'll get some use on this machine here. And I really appreciate that. Thanks a lot for that. And I really appreciate the donations. They just help greatly. And hopefully the sound, make sure all these things are plugged in here. I've got little things to plug in for this microphone, but I think the microphone's great. And I've been making this and that to make this stuff work a little bit better. Well, on the having drawers full of cutting tools, I'm going to take a couple of broken off 1/4 inch solid carbide drill bit. You can see it's busted off there. And I'm going to make threading tools out of these. I'll cut a threading tool on each end of these things. On 2 of them will give me 4 cutters that I can resharpen and should last a lifetime. Now, one of the problems I have that I'm up to here, I'm still working on those holder trays for the end measuring rods, but I'm working around the periphery of stuff. There's I got to make thumb screws again, and knurled thumb screws, and I like to do that on this Axelson here. And the one problem with the Axelson is, well, it's got a couple cutting threads. It's got no threading stop on the crossfeed dial. And plus the dials on this machine, a year later, they satin chromed them. Satin chrome, easy to read, polished, not so easy to read with glare. So to set this to zeros, you have to put an ink mark on it. And it's just, withdraw the tool, bring it back, it's difficult. So to avoid that, I don't know if you've seen the multi-fix tools. Well, they have a tool holder that has a lever that like this, but it works differently, and it pushes the tool, your cutting tool, in and out. So you don't have to back it off here. You can back it off here like a hard inch. And this is a hard inch item. It's a little slide that you can stick on their lathes other than HLVH. And these things show up on eBay for 60 to 100 bucks. And I'm mounting it to a plate. I've already done that, mounted it to a deal on a smaller tool post, but I'm going to make this more versatile. And so I can mount this in a tool holder and use this as the quick withdraw. It just made threading a whole bunch easier, especially for those tiny screws. And I've cut threads on this big old lathe, 40 threads per inch. It just does an excellent job. So I'm going to use this machine the most as possible, rather than the tool making lathe over there wear it out for the most important purposes of ball bearing fitting. So this is the setup here. I take these old height gauges here. This thing here is probably over $1,000 at one time, but they're not worth anything anymore. And I just set them up for all kinds of stuff. And this one here's dedicated for tool height. See, I have it slide along on the flat way here, so I can set my tool holders and check stuff out. Okay, back over here to the cutter grinder, and I'll get this thing fired up, push all the buttons necessary, and get in a good position. I'll be right back. Okay, here at a 1942 Cincinnati number 2 Universal Tool and Cutter Grinder. I've got a synthetic diamond wheel in there, cup wheel, and it'll grind both high speed and carbide supposedly, but it's best to just do light grinding on high speed, I think, with that thing. But it works great. It's working good. So I got the head tilted this way a degree. So if you run a reamer across there, it's not going to cut on the backside, okay? And that's just a good habit to be in, I think. I don't know, you know, do it any way you want to. I'm just telling you what I'm doing here. So the first thing I'm going to do here, let's make sure I got this tight, is I'm going to grind a flat. Bump that until I get it. Tighten that little dog down there. Okay, so it's not going to over travel. And I'll fire it up. I got a vacuum here to catch that toxic carbide dust. That's one thing you got to watch out for. Carbide just grinds so easy, it's like grinding rock. Get out of here, fly. And we'll fire it on up. Whoop, wrong way. I'll get the vacuum going here. You're supposed to let those coast down before you reverse it. I think probably to keep the nuts from unscrewing. So it coasts down and we'll go the right direction. Down like that, okay? And I think I got a good spot to be right here. Let's see if we can get set up here. Now this machine's not too loud. Let's see if I can get where we both can see pretty good. Something like that, I guess. Bring it, tighten up this okay. My lad's not cooperating. Okay, so I'm going to start feeding this thing in. I'm going to back it away a little bit. I've oiled the ways on this. I'm going to bring it back. I feed it in about 1,000ths at a time. Get it touched. Got the this is the all-tool Rotodex fixture. It is quite a bit more handy than the heavy-duty. There we are. Oh, it's picking it up good. The let's see how we're doing. Yeah. I don't know if you can see that. Maybe I'll get the camera a little bit higher. You see that carbide grind? All right. Just feeding it in a little bit at a time here. Yeah, the vacuum's picking up the dust real good. I hope you're all doing good. If you're living in California, I hope the fires are dying down. It rained here. I heard it's cooling down in California. We've had some wildfires here in Washington, and there was one pretty close to where my wife is up in Montana. And I'm going to be heading up there pretty soon. I'm trying to get a lot done here. And I think I'm doing pretty good at it. I'm going through all my old stuff. Now, I'll tell you a funny story. I had two valve grinders, automotive valve grinders I use for motorcycles and heads and stuff that I did. And I've been tripping over those things for years, and I sold them. And now I go, well, you can't grind valves. Well, yes, I can. I can use this machine here to grind valves more accurately than any commercial valve grinder. Yeah, this machine here will even beat the Summon. I don't know if I'm grinding that back far enough, but it's a good start anyway. I like where that's at. I get this lamp. There's always something that goes wrong when you do a video. I have a lamp here that I need a wrench to adjust. Yeah, that's looking good right there. Okay. So, what I'll do next, turn the microphone. I got this so stuff swivels now. And I think you can hear me. So what I'm going to do now is rotate this 30 degrees. And I'm not sure if I'm going to have to 10, 20, 30, get that over this way. If I'm going to have to move the Rolodex over, we shall see. Right there. It's 30 degrees, and I am not going to have the room I need to do this. Okay, I got an alternate way to do this. That's one of the reasons I'm going to build another spindle for my adjust head that extends further over this table. But I'll be back with a solution here. Hey, I'll show you something interesting about the Cincinnati and some other tool and cutter grinders. Is the standard workhead here. I kind of run into a clearance problem with the Rolodex, but it's easily solved. But the standard workhead and centers on these. Now, if I rotate the workhead, I want to crunch that wheel like that. You can see how the base is. You see where the center line is here? Well, you can flip this totally around and the head will hang over that far. on this side. So you can get the head closer to the wheels because of that. So it's a matter of juggling things on these old machines like this. But it's all interesting, and I have a good time doing it, and I'm glad some of you have a good time watching it. Okay, so I got the Rotodeck set up here, locked in. I'm using a V-block. I had to shove this fixture over and use table clamps to hold it down, squaring it up on the edge back there. Now, Rob mentioned this, and I should too. You want to be careful with a cutter grinder and with these table slots is not to put too much torque on them, because you're going to distort the table and likely bust it. Okay, so you see I got a wrench here that I whacked off, 7/8 wrench, and as tight as I can comfortably get that with this wrench is tight enough. That's tight enough, okay? So that's a torque wrench. So you don't want to stick the extra long 7/8 snap on there. You're going to snap something off that way. Okay, so I got this rotated for 30 degrees. I ground the flat on the top, so I'm going to do the 30-degree sides for this threading tool made from a broken off 1/4-inch solid carbide drill shank. Okay, I'll get this into the camera holder and be back. Okay, here's the vacuum, and here's the grinder go. If I got that going the right way again. I didn't. We'll get up here. I think that'll be a pretty good vantage point. So I'm going to grind that 30 degree on that one side. I already got the flat ground there. So let's start moving it into the wheel. I think it's important to have a vacuum going. I got this tilted to give it 4 degrees side clearance. See if I can get that in there, get it close. There we go. Okay, I'm going to take about 2/1000 a whack. Oh, the vacuum is working excellent. Just taking that stuff right away. The multi-fix threading attachment for lathes uses carbide threading inserts, and I think it'll be just fine for me to just sharpen up carbide rod for that device that I'm putting together using the hardened. Okay, I don't know if I'm past center on that yet. I'm pretty sure I am now. Okay, I'm just going to let that polish out a little bit. This is a coarse wheel. and it's kind of hard to change wheels. So you can kind of fudge things in with coarse wheels. Then of course I hand lap things too. So it just makes things go faster. I'm not grinding cutters commercially. I'm grinding cutters for me. Everybody else is on their own. Okay, so I'm going to flip that over. There we go. Get that back to 0 right there. I'm going to rotate this. The cutter grinder's not real loud, you know. Okay, now I'm going to use a parallel in here. I'm going to get it right on that flat. Let's see how that's looking. Oh, hard to get that such a small. That looks very good to me. Okay. Get that clamp tight. Now this time I have to tilt it down. I'm going to give it about 4 degrees. And here we go. Let's up a little more room. Okay. Right about there. I'm going to lock the stop so I don't bang into the B block. Okay, we're tight, snug. I'll start grinding now. I hope you can see that okay. We'll move in a little closer maybe. I think this new camera focuses quite a bit better. Okay, I gotta drop that wheel a little bit. Let's see how that looks. Just about right. Give it another right there. Lock the column. I don't know if you could hear me over there. I got the microphone attached to the camera facing me. It looks like I'm hitting the lamp here. Okay, here we are. Got the vacuum going. You should have the vacuum going on this carbide. It is just not good for you to breathe it. It's got cobalt in it, and it seems like anything with cobalt is not good. Oh, hold on. Hitting the handle here. There, I think that'll do it. Getting about 1,000ths to 2,000ths at a time. And this is a 1/4 inch carbide drill bit that's busted off. And so I'm going to make, got 2 of them, and I'm going to make threading tools out of them. So I don't have to buy carbide inserts. And I can cut this thread cutting tip on both ends. And that will readily give me four cutting edges and likely last a lifetime, I would expect. Now that's looking good. Let's just kind of let it polish first a little bit. We'll have a look at it. Okay. Vacuum off. Back things off a little bit there. Whew. Sometimes I'll hold my breath when I'm grinding. I don't know why. Okay, what are we looking at? We are looking at a threading tool with clearances. Beautiful. Yeah, that's real nice. Just a real nice little threader. Then I can hone it, and I always do, because I can get things just a little bit sharper that way. Okay, just like that. Okay, I'll be back.